Kiki. How are
Hey,
you?
Stephanie. I'm
Welcome
great.
back to the pod. We've taken a bit of a hiatus. We did some upgrading, some downgrading, some removing, some adding, so that hopefully our listeners have a overall better experience. So, listeners, welcome back as well. Okay, so per usual, we're going to dive right on in with the history because y'all need to learn, and we'll get into the rest of it as it comes.
All right now.
La, la, la. Okay, I'm going to start out with the meat of it, and then we're going to go into it. I feel like I always have to qualify my stories, but maybe that's just me being weird. Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
Statue of Liberty. Colossal statue on Liberty Island in the upper New York Bay commemorates the friendship of the peoples of the United States and France. It represents a woman holding a torch in a raised right hand and a tablet bearing the adoption date of the Declaration of Independence, July 4, 1776, in her left, making America 250 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The torch, which measures 29 feet, 8.8 meters from flame to tip to the bottom of the handle, is accessible via a 42-foot, 12.8-meter service ladder inside the arm. This ascent has been open to the public since, basically 1916. Actually, it says 1886 to 1916. But I thought you could still go up there, so who knows? That we may need to fact check that. Anyway. An elevator carries visitors to the observation deck in the pedestal, which may be also reached by stairway and spiral staircase, and that leads to an observation platform in the figure's crown. A plaque of the pedestal's entrance is inscribed with the sonnet, The New Colossus, by Emma Lazarus, and it was actually written to help raise money for the pedestal, and it reads, "Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gate shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flames the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, in her mild command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands your storied prompt, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuge of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest toast to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." So, a little history about her. The proposal for the Statue of Liberty was first introduced by a French historian named Edward de la Boulaye. Okay, and honestly, sorry listeners, I'm probably going to butcher the French names. I'm going to try, but give me a break. Okay, so he proposed this in 1865. He was an ardent supporter of America, and he wished to commemorate the centennial of the Declaration of Independence, as well as celebrate the close relationship between France and America. He was equally moved by the recent abolition of slavery in the U.S., which furthered America's ideals of liberty and freedom. Funds were contributed by the French people, and work on the project began in France in 1875 under a sculptor named Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, who began drafting designs for the figure in 1870. When Bartholdi created the first models, the statue's hands were holding broken chains to signify the end of slavery. American financiers were not too keen on the idea, so he replaced the chains with a tablet. Bartholdi, however, left broken chains at the feet of Liberty to remind us of the freedom from oppression and servitude. These chains are unseen by visitors as they sit atop the pedestal. However, they can be seen from an aerial view. The statue's full name is Liberty Enlightening the World, and the 7 spikes on the crown represent the 7 oceans and 7 continents of the world, indicating a universal concept of liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the statue was constructed of copper sheets hammered into shape by hand and assembled over a framework of 4 gigantic steel supports designed by Eugene Emmanuel Viollet-le-Duc and Alexandre Gustave Eiffel. Bartholdi oversaw the construction of the statue in his Paris workshop, where his craftsmen used an ancient metalworking technique known as repoussé to hammer the lightweight copper sheets onto the statue's hollow wooden form. Other materials traditionally used in statue construction, such as bronze, stone, and marble, were too heavy and costly to ship from Paris to New York. Eiffel's design ensured that the mammoth statue could withstand strong winds, and its steel framework, acting like a skeleton, provided the necessary support for the copper skin to maintain its shape and stability. Bartholdi handled the actual statue, but Americans weren't eager to start raising money for the whole thing, so he sent the arm of Liberty to the States to inspire monetary donations. And they actually ended up in New York. When they say the States, they're talking about New York. And this is a total aside and a total hot take for just you, Kiki. But one of the things that inspired this story for me, other than just the fact that, hello, you heard what she's supposed to stand for, is that in the Golden Age, the Gilded Age, they have like a whole little storyline around it where people are like, should we go see the arm? Should we go see the arm? Anyway, I thought you'd find that fun. Okay, so that's how they were trying to raise money.
Do you know which arm it was? Can we talk about that real quick?
I think it's her right arm that holds the torch.
Okay.
And the left arm holds the tablet. And not the chains, because the Americans said no chains. Anywho. Okay, so finally, our eyes were gladdened by the actual receipt of a section of Liberty consisting of one arm with its accompanying hand of such enormous proportion that the thumbnail afforded an easy seat for the largest fat woman now in existence, the New York Times wrote in 1876. For a time, it looked like the arm was all that America was going to get. Philadelphia, Boston, and New York all fought over who would get the arm. It was New York, however, that put it in Madison Square Park to raise the donations, like we just talked about, and souvenir photos were sold, and for 50 cents, people could climb a ladder to the balcony on the torch, according to New York Public Library. The Colossus was presented to the American minister to France, Levi Morton, who later became vice president, in a ceremony in Paris on July 4, 1884. Once the statue was completed, it was disassembled into 350 individual pieces. These pieces were carefully packed into 214 wooden crates to ensure their safe journey across the Atlantic. They were then loaded onto the French frigate Isère in the seaport of Lorient, France, and the frigate then traveled for close to a month before reaching New York Harbor in June of 1885. It was unloaded and the crates were transported to Bedloe's Island, known as Liberty Island. Here the statue was reassembled over the course of several months, and it was a pretty monumental task involving careful reconstruction of the copper sheets, etc. Now, the pedestal, because we just got a statue. First we got an arm, then we got a statue. Now we've got a full body, but nothing to actually have her stand on. So the pedestal is actually designed by an American architect named Richard Morris Hunt, and he built the pedestal within the walls of Fort Wood on Bedloe's Island. The statue was mounted on the pedestal and dedicated to President Grover Cleveland on October 28, 1886. Now, just some more background. Over the years, the torch underwent several modifications, including its conversion to electric power in 1916, and that was actually redesigned from the repoussé copper sheath gold leaf in the mid 1980s, when the statue was repaired and restored by both American and French workers for the centennial. The site was then added to UNESCO's World Heritage List in '84. The statue was first administered by the U.S. Lighthouse Board, as the illuminated torch was considered a navigational aid. So she was basically a lighthouse. Because Fort Wood was still an operational Army post, responsibility for it was transferred over to the War Department in 1901. It was declared a national monument in 1924 and in 1933. And I mean, that's how long ago this is that I can say 23 and be talking about 100. And in 1933, the administration of the statue was placed under the National Park Service. Fort Wood was deactivated in 1937, and the rest of the island was incorporated into the monument. In 1956, Bedloe's Island was renamed Liberty Island, and in 1965, nearby Ellis Island, once the country's major immigration station, was added to the monument's jurisdiction, bringing its total area to about 58 acres, or 24 hectares. Exhibitions on the history of the Statue of Liberty included the statue's original torch, and contained the statue's base until 2018 when they were moved to the adjacent Statue of Liberty Museum. Now, let's talk a little bit about Ellis Island. The Ellis Island is an island in Upper New York Bay, formerly the United States Principal Immigration Reception Center. It's often referred to as the gateway to the New World. It lies about 1 mile southwest of Manhattan and is about 1,300 feet east of the Jersey Shore. Originally only 3 acres, it grew to about 27 acres through extensive land reclamation, and much of the island's current area consists of landfill and ship-dumped ballast. And I do want to say it's really funny because I think I was on Reddit and I heard this whole discussion about whether the Statue of Liberty was actually in New York or New Jersey. And funnily enough, she actually kind of does sit a stitch closer to Jersey.
Proud.
So the island was named for Manhattan merchant Samuel Ellis, who owned it in the 1770s. In 1808, the state of New York sold the island to the federal government, and it was used as a fort and a powder magazine. It serves as the nation's major immigration station from 1892 to 1924, after which its role was reduced. During that period, an estimated 12 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island, where they were processed by immigration authorities and obtained permission to enter the United States. A little aside about Ellis, a fire in 1897 razed the whole wooden buildings, and all records were lost. Any records that were held there were lost. The U.S. Treasury rebuilt the processing center in fireproof materials, and in the 1900s, the new main building was opened. Most first and second class passengers who sailed in were checked only briefly on board their ships and were allowed straight entrance into the city, the assumption being that they had sufficient means to prevent them from being a public charge. It was primarily the third class passengers who had medical and legal checks. The inspection process lasted 3 to 5 hours and took place in the Great Hall. After immigration reception was moved to New York City in 1943, Ellis Island continued to serve as a detention station for immigrants until 1954. It was then reopened to sightseers in 1976 by the National Park Service. The main building and other structures on the island were restored in the 80s and opened in 1990 as the Ellis Island Immigration Museum. Mm-hmm. And that is the story of the Statue of Liberty.
Our fair lady.
Yeah. Did you know she had a name?
I did.
Did you? I did not know she had a name.
You know what? This is such a good topic. There's so many questions that we have.
So, and I feel like it's really funny because, you know how I was saying, like, tripping over the dates because, damn, this is some real history. We're talking centuries of history right now. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to me that a lot of what was going on then is still kind of going on now.
Isn't that funny about history?
I actually don't find it funny. And I want to be a little, we're back to our hot takes because I really have to say this. Oh my God, it's so early in the podcast. I don't even know if I should go there, but I'm gonna. When do we get to be honest about the fact that most of the world's problems, should I say that?
That's very, you said it thoroughly. I mean, you said
I don't know. I might edit this out. So, but you and I are going to have this combo because I was thinking about it. Like, they've been in charge
a long time.
And like, in charge. Do you know what I mean? Like, even so, yeah, like America's an air quote free country, and we'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. But like, if you think about who's running the businesses, who's in government, who's in sports, who's the head coaches, like there's one demographic that's going to show up over and over and over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, when can we just start admitting that maybe that demographic needs to take a seat and let some other people do some things. Because think about this. Think about the fact that like and I don't even actually think things have stayed the same. I think they've actually regressed, right? Because they at least it was 3 to 5 hours they could get people in and out. 3 to 5 hours, you're coming, let's check you out, boom, 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 welcome to motherfucking America. And now they sit, well, now they're literally being hunted.
All around.
They're being hunted.
All around.
Isn't that crazy?
Not welcomed.
Yeah, not welcomed in any way, shape, or form. They're
Not
literally
welcomed,
sending out threatening letters telling people to, like, get out.
Get out.
So
Going to get them. Girl, the thing about it is the people that we always, like, at work we have conversations about, like, who are these people that have been, hey, ICE, you are, deputized or wherever. Like, why do they have masks on? What are they afraid of? We need to see some of these people. We need to do some face recognition. And let's do some background checks. And let's do some 23andMe if that's still around.
Listen, you know what's funny? They did say, I saw the requirements to be an ICE agent, and it was like...
What are the requirements? Run it down. Come on, give it to me. I need to know for research purposes.
Okay. Well, no, this isn't the right one because, okay, hold on. Shit. Wish I'd taken a screenshot of this so we could talk about it, but they were like very minimal. They're like high school education. There's no training that you have to be a part of. It's literally like must have this, valid driver's license, obviously be a legal resident, just the most random things. Like, you know what I mean? I could literally go be an ICE agent with 0 qualifications. And I think that's who they are. I think those are the ones that
who they are. And that's what they want. They want you to think,
yes.
You don't really have to have much, but you're doing a great service, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have to have much, but a bunch of hate in your heart.
You don't even have to have a conscience. That is not even on the table at this point.
In fact, if you don't have one of those, even better.
So,
yes.
My thing is like about the lady, because she's the lady. She's
a lady.
Like, we didn't let the lady down. She was created for it. Ellis Island, everything that had to do with that whole situation. And my thing is, I don't know if it's just the copper and the patina over the years, and did they just say, hey, it's too much to go and shine this bitch up? Like, what is the deal? Shouldn't she still be glistening and gleaming as a beacon of hope and not like, really, she's the color of money. If you think about it, she's got the same hue and tones.
That's a really good question.
I just always have said, like, why couldn't we just, keep her glowing and coppery and brilliant? We just let her go. We let her down. She was such an amazing...
That's a really good question. Because I wonder, because I feel like it would be pretty expensive to maintain copper. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But every now and then, shine the girl up.
No, I think it's a good question why she's just sitting over there in technically no man's land between Jersey and New York.
But really Jersey.
Yeah, but really Jersey.
She's a Jersey girl.
Really.
She's every bit of a Jersey girl.
Much, but kind of just because she's almost like a relic of a time that no longer exists, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone ever talks about... I honestly, we're not even talking about the Statue of Liberty anymore when we're having these, like, really hot political conversations, which we're doing all the time now because we are in a tailspin. We're just talking about the Constitution, right? Like, things right now are so dire that we're trying to ensure the Constitution doesn't go away, right?
That it doesn't go away.
But it doesn't go away. Okay, well, since I've already busted out with the hot takes, I'm just gonna keep going because this also brought up another thing that I was thinking about, and that's the fact that for the most part, a lot of the people, but I mean, it did say that they processed like 12 million people, right? 12 million people. That we know of. And who knows? The records got lost. They got burnt down. So it could be way more. and I don't even know what the population of America could have been at that point. Let's say 100 million. So 10% of the population has suddenly come through Ellis Island of straight up air quote foreigners, right? And I am willing to bet that those 10% then had a at least small, maybe not so small, that they definitely helped grow the population to another 100,000, right?
They definitely did.
And so at that point, they become generational, right? But if you just go back to like the early 1900s, a lot of these people have only been here for 3 generations.
Yeah.
And then the reason why I'm bringing that up, because I am a Black woman, and we're still dealing with the fact of legitimacy in America. And you know what made me think about this is the fact that, this is going to blow your mind, is the fact that I heard someone said something, and then I was like, well, what is my native tongue? And then I was thinking, like, American English has been my generation's native tongue for centuries.
Yeah, it has. It has.
You know what I mean?
That's all we understand.
That's all we understand.
Yeah,
unless
I'm
we
curious to know too.
To learn something else. And so if my native tongue is hundreds, who really has the most stake in this country?
Hey, come on now. Come on now, Stephanie. This is a hot take.
It is a hot take. And I am not trying to be divisive at all. I really wish we could have conversations like these with the general public. Because I'm curious to know if they see it that way. Because it actually was blowing my mind that my family's native tongue, generationally, is American English.
American English.
Because of how fucking long we've been here. So I just feel like we should have a lot more say in what the hell goes on.
We should. And then, you know what? Having the immigrants come through Ellis Island, I wonder, at that time, like when people started coming over, was it the ploy like, hey, this is America, we're different? Or what was the tagline like, hey, this is America, come worship whoever you want? I don't know. What was it? And were they selling this dream? Because, you have to sell the shit. Like, you can't just be saying, like, oh, yeah, come over to America. You got to put some stank on it. Like, hey, when you come to America, your children's children and wealth and grandeur and whatever else. And come on, let's go. And then the people got over here, and they probably, were at first, they were stunned.
Yeah.
And then it takes a minute to get that reality check, because America's always good about those reality checks. It never lets you forget
they will come.
You didn't belong here. And
and that's the thing about it.
We're brought here. You still don't belong here.
Yes.
How does that?
Because that's
even
the thing.
Even if we go capture you and get you.
And make you come here and live here and learn our native tongue.
You still don't want to.
But you bring up a good point, because when they did get here, most of them, and we're talking Italian, Irish, Asian, true diverse, basically cultures, they shuttled them into tenements. Ghettos didn't exist before this. Tenements
ghetto is all America. It was,
do you know what I mean?
Here. Like, it belongs to her. Like,
yes.
Girl, you ghetto. And when you say that America is ghetto, girl, that is what I see. You created this. You created the conditions.
Which goes
this
back
is your
to
manifestation. It belongs to you. It doesn't belong to anybody else. Don't be saying, oh, they got ghettos in Italy. They got ghettos over wherever. No. This is ghetto. Because the ghettos, they do not compare to what we got over here.
And they didn't even need to exist. The only reason why they do is because the people that have been in charge for as long as they have felt that the people coming over were inferior, didn't want to live by them, so they made them live in shoeboxes on top of each other.
Girl, I think a shoebox is a bit too generous.
For where they ended up. And what I will
I
say
think I would welcome the shoebox.
is they're I don't know why that's like, we just don't talk about history enough because everyone seems to, and it's crazy because it's only like generations removed, gloss over that because they're like, my grandpa had to pull himself up by his bootstraps. And it's like, sure, I don't discount any of that. And I don't take that away from you because that is very, very hard. But that's because you guys acted as a buffer between them and the blacks.
Yeah.
So as long as it was anyone but us,
yes,
they were going to give you a fighting chance. And I feel like that's where the racism divisions kind of started because they start to see us still not doing well. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, I can do it. And it's like, because they'll do anything to make sure we are not well.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's what's playing out in government right now. Like, the reason why things are as bad as they are is because everyone was so hell-bent on ensuring black people didn't have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody's
if I can't have a good time, you can't have a good time. We ain't gonna have a good time. Girl.
And we
haven't.
We haven't.
But girl, I do love the fact that you have this topic because also too, like we talked about in the beginning, she's the lady and she's holding the tablets, and these tablets, and she's holding the torch. And those are two things, like you have knowledge and you have the illumination. But we've gone far beyond that. We didn't even looking for her to light the path anymore.
It's a dark path.
It's a dark path. It's just one foot before the other. How you gonna get there? But one by inch. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, we have gone far beyond from what the initial Lady Liberty and what it meant and what the word liberty means.
It's really strange. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you guys have had years to get this shit together. Why haven't you been able to figure it out?
Oh, they can't. They don't want to figure it out.
You don't want to figure it out.
Figuring out, you would have to concede and you would have to make amends. And I don't think those are two things that they don't want to do.
I agree. They don't want accountability and they certainly don't want to acknowledge it. They really, it's so crazy. It's like at some point, you guys, and I think that point is now, we're all going to have to acknowledge it. Because I'm actually seeing a lot more people online talk about the fact that ultimately everything comes back to racism, Like, I don't know if you heard about that Harvard debacle where they fired that researcher.
No, tell me.
So this person was hired to kind of just do like some archival, I'm generalizing, but basically to do some like archival research for Harvard. And they're looking and they're looking and they're looking. And every single time they go back far enough, they run into slavery every time, right? Because like obviously, of course, but this surprised them and apparently some of the admins at Harvard because they literally fired that person rather than have that study come out that says like Harvard is heavily associated to slavery. Right?
But you know what? This is good for this person that got fired because then they'll be able to teach and they'll probably be able to give the knowledge away for free.
But we already know.
Girl, we already know. But girl, you know how people are. They don't want to hear it unless it comes from somebody.
Well, and that's the point.
In academia.
That's the point. Well, they don't even want to hear from academia anymore. They don't. So the problem is the academics are trying to hide the sins. The government's trying to crush the academics. Like, it's this weird state where nobody wants anything getting out. And ultimately, it's all just to pretend like everything in this country doesn't boil back down to slavery. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, if we can't even acknowledge that, we are going to be stuck in a crazy place for so much longer unnecessarily. I also think that part of it is monetary, right? Like it's not only do they not want to acknowledge like slavery, It's that they've made a lot of money by not acknowledging slavery. And so the goods have just gotten too good. But it's wild how people have actively cheered up the resources driving for most of us while the wealthy hoard it. That's what blows my mind, is because that's what it means, right? If you guys don't want us to have it, and you're working with people, electing people that want to ensure we don't have it, you're not going to get it either, because the only reason most of the things that worked for anyone existed is because Black people fought for them. College, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Memorial Day exists because Black people said, hey, maybe we should take some time to think about these white people. Slavery. It all goes back to slavery.
All goes back to slavery.
So it does kind of bite that we can't move forward because no one wants to say, okay, fine, just get there. We just need to get there. Like, you don't have to like love the fact that you have to acknowledge it. You can begrudgingly acknowledge it, that it needs to be acknowledged. Otherwise, Lady Liberty is just going to continue rotting,
decaying, corroding
in the sea. Do you think that if she were a man, they would have treated her better?
Girl, of course. Girl, they'd have been out there shining with the shinola and the spit shine, and they've been getting the teams together week after week. Girl, you know how they be talking about Make America Beautiful, or like beach cleanup day.
Oh,
girl, we love a good beach cleanup day. Everybody's out there. They're all getting it. And then at the end, you get a free ticket to the damn Belmont Park to where we're staying, so you can ride all the rides, okay? Yeah, they would be doing all of that.
I think so, too.
In droves, girl. They couldn't wait till the weekend came so they can go up there and shine his shoes. Girl, yeah, they would.
Yeah, I actually am thinking about that. Like, I bet she was so beautiful at one point.
I bet, girl. Do you see those old depictions of how, like, people were like, oh my God, it's the golden goddess. Where she's not gold, she's copper, but she was shining, glistening. Girl, I bet they had to
giving hope.
Make it like, girl, when you go down in this barrier, you're gonna go down into the Hudson somewhere. Is it the Hudson, girl?
I don't know.
You're going to see on the eastern seaboard, you're going to see such a magnificent shine. It's, it's its own freaking lighthouse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, its own little lighthouse.
They were going for it. And girl, I imagine the immigrants, the ones that, came over on their old Volusia, they were like, we've made it.
Absolutely.
Look at this goddess, girl. And we all know the goddess is everything. Yes. And she has all of abundance to offer. She's fruitful. She makes it. She multiplies it. She divides it.
She's
not
also
selfish. She just like, come on, girl. I got it. So you can have it.
Well, and she's also can be dark, though. I feel like when people talk about goddesses, it's always light and love, and they forget the dark and death.
We know the dark. Let's talk about
that's
the dark.
Another thing. It's like there's a vengefulness there that I think needs to exist in every god, right? Mm-hmm. I wish some of these gods would start vengefuling some of these people, but
which is why I think she got those tablets, girl, because she got that. She's got what's right and what's wrong, and she's got that written down.
Yeah, I wonder what the tablets do mean, because I didn't find any research on whether they were supposed to signify anything. I think it was
interpretation.
Up to interpretation. And again, they were like, no chains, no slavery.
No chains. No 10 Commandments, girl. I'm glad they didn't put that up on there. Can you imagine?
Did you ever see that movie? Okay, I have a bit of a confession, and this is such a weird thing, but I've always been a little like creeped out by the Statue of Liberty, and I will tell you why.
Tell me.
Because, and it's completely nonsensical, but it's because there's this movie, and I don't know which one it is, because I watched it once and couldn't watch it again, where she comes to life. Is it Ghostbusters?
Was it a comedy?
No, I don't think so. I feel like it might have been a comedy. Was it Ghostbusters? But what funnily enough, it was her breaking the chain on her feet and like starting to walk, and I was like, whoa. maybe my mind was already picking up on some
Yeah,
real
you already
subconscious
knew, girl.
subtext. But
Imagine
it just
this.
gave
How
me
she
like
broke
really,
away from the chains.
yeah. I'm gonna
And
find the
they're
movie.
there, but you just can't see them.
You
But
can't
then
see them.
when they depicted that on that movie, I think it was Ghostbuster Girl.
It is
It makes you
Ghostbusters.
feel like, oh,
Yes,
she's there under her own distress.
yes. There's
Oh
something
gosh,
about it.
this
Like
is
free
good
our
stuff.
girl. Also, yes, free her. Move her to California. I feel like we would find some budget to keep her
We would
proper.
appreciate her now. Just like I said, the beach cleanup girl, they be out there every weekend. What we gonna do? Okay, we're going from the checkpoint. Okay, from the lifeguard station to this. Okay, I got it. And girl, it could be one guy. He can handle the whole thing.
So true. You know, they really would. I think that we should petition for that. Listen, if California is actually going to succeed and become its own country, I feel like we should at least get the Statue of Liberty too.
And we would know how to do it. It always needed to be over here.
Yeah, it probably
Not
did
New-
always.
Sorry
need to
to
be over
New Jersey.
here.
Shout out to all the, what do you call them? Jerseys. What is their
Jerseyites.
name?
Jerseyans.
Jerseyans.
That's
New
a really good
Jersey?
question. What do you call people from New Jersey?
Mm.
Jerseyans. I feel like it's Jerseyans.
That's fitting. I feel like they would be like, they would tune up. Girl, have you ever met anybody from New Jersey?
I actually have, yes.
So you know what the vibe is.
She was an odd duck. She really was.
you said it.
She was so
You called it out.
she was so gobsmacked by San Francisco. Like everything about it was just blowing her mind.
But yet
But she
they're right
was
by New York, girl. They're right by New York.
so
And you would think
crazy.
they've never seen anything in this world.
She really was gobsmacked by a lot of things. But I will say she came across as a little ignorantly naive, but I feel like there was some authenticity and earnestness there. Like she was always the one getting us together to go volunteer at like the food bank, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she would invite us over to like work at her place. I don't know. Like she was kind, but there were some things. She was like, I was walking down, she would say something in this place and we're just like, oh, like the Embarcadero.
It had bugs.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so big.
Yeah, or it's just like it's a city. Like what do the cities look like in Jersey? But apparently, what is a city in Jersey?
Girl, New Jersey is over there all by itself, ain't it?
I mean, isn't that crazy? I literally can't think of one city name in Jersey.
Girl.
Shit. So
They
yeah,
got
maybe
Newark, they got Camden, girl. They got all the
oh wow, no,
boogie
those
down,
do
boogie down.
sound familiar. Isn't there an Ivy League in Jersey?
Girl, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
girl.
gosh,
New Jersey
my
is
computer
where-
is listening to me because I literally just typed Ivy League in, and the first thing that came up was New Jersey.
Tell me about it.
These motherfuckers. Yeah. So Princeton. So they've got Princeton, which I think is in Camden. That's why I think that triggered that because
Trenton is the capital, and they have 9.501 million people as of the census. And we have our great senator who I love. I never had nothing bad to say about Cory Booker. He can't, I'm not saying he cannot
well,
do
then you
no
are
wrong.
not, girl. Cory Booker is not good.
Girl, I'm not saying he's wonderful, but
No,
I'm
he's
saying
so bad, though. He's
Tell
actually
me-
bad.
tell me about bad
Happened.
Cory
Well,
Booker.
you know what it is I think what we're finding out, and we being, God, I hate labeling myself, but for the purpose of this combo, I'll say us being leftists are finding out that a lot of the people that are in government that are supposed to be for like leftist policies are very, I won't even say middle of the ground. They basically swing where the money and the popularity goes. That they're just establishment. So they think that if they do this little thing that it counts for things and it just doesn't count for anything in the world we're living in anymore. And Cory has several times voted unnecessarily, I might add, for some of the dumbest things. It's an unnecessary vote for someone that is notably a bad guy that shouldn't be in the government. Full stop, right? So that's what it is. So it's like all of MAGA obviously is going to vote for him because they have an agenda. But there's no reason for Democrats to still be doing this dumb shit, and they are. And ultimately, like, Corey will get up and he'll do like a filibuster and talk for 48 hours, and then literally the next day go do something like that. He's like a politician. He's just playing at politics. And a lot of it goes back to money because, I mean, if he can't be too far gone because then he loses money. But there's just a lot of them out there like that. I mean, the Democrats are doing some really weird stuff in terms of how they're addressing fighting fascism, frankly. It's really weird how they've kind of just chosen to kind of sit back and wait. There's this, I don't know if you know that kid. God, I don't know his name. Oh, yeah, it's David Hogg. And he was in a position within the Democrats. So they basically kicked him out because what he was trying to do is rally like a more progressive aspect of the left. And it's anti-establishment again. So they kicked this dude out. So there's just all this politicking going on, and from the Democrats it's really disappointing because it's just to maintain the status quo, meaning generally speaking they're perfectly okay with how things are going right now. And it's just Corey, I think the reason why he immediately like rankles me is because it was wild to watch the filibuster because it's like, okay, so we're gonna actually do some shit, right? It's a little what it is. But I, like you, is like, hey, at least someone's doing something. And then he turned around and lost all credibility because he voted affirmatively in this thing that he could have just abstained from and it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So it's like, what are you then? What do you stand for? And then it's like, you have to say it's the money. It can't be much more. So that's how I feel. I feel like there needs to be, and this is what is so crazy about the times that we are living in, okay? Because not only am I agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene that we need to break this fucking country up. Like, that's ultimately, I think, what needs to happen, and I talk about it all the time. But there was also, Elon was also like, we need a new party. And I'm like, God, I hate that I agree with you. Like, I think we may need
a new party. About this party. Tell me about it.
Oh, I have no idea what he thinks we need in terms of a new party.
No, what do you think?
I think that we should, ultimately, this is what I really feel. I think two things need to happen. I think that we need a true progressive policy and a progressive party. And that is someone that, because if you think about it at this point, the Republicans are basically alt-right, right? So that makes Democrats kind of moderate, right? Moderate. And so there is this gap for true progressives who, like me, really don't care what anybody's doing as long as you're not harming anyone and we're making forward progress. That's what progressives believe in. That there's a way to make sure that everyone's fed, they have a roof over their head, they're clothed, they have a job that, will give them a living, and whatever else you want to do it. I mean, we've talked about the fact that I kind of believe that drugs should be legalized. Like, I'm that type of thinker. Like, and I feel like we need a party that is that open, that's not stuck in or mired in any of the institutions that clearly just need to be dismantled anyway. I also feel like we need to do away with what are they called? What are the people that basically own the votes?
The Electoral College?
Yes. We need to do away with the Electoral College.
I just want to, that's something for another day, but because I know the rabbit hole is going to go deeper. Who said that this was a good thing? How did they, I don't know.
You know what it is?
It doesn't sound right. It does not sound right. And then the name of it is just totally.
And also because why are there so many, that's the reason why we have to have so many damn votes. It should be one and done. I picked this person.
It should be one and done.
And it should be 1-to-1. Like, my vote counts as one vote. Yours counts as one.
Yes.
I don't think
Yes. Not
Tommy
like
in
the damn
yes.
fashion game where you get boosts and level ups. Like, we don't need that. This is not that kind of game.
Not that kind of game. I voted. This is what I
Girl, if I can
want.
beat 3 people and get some level ups, then let's show improve.
It's so bizarre. So that's what I think needs to happen. I ultimately, everything's gotta burn. Everything needs to like, and I mean, some of it figuratively, some of it literally shit. But it needs to kind of just where it's 250 years. You know what they say? At this
250
point,
years.
America is officially a teenager.
Mm-hmm. Wild
Moving
and
into
free.
adulthood. Yeah, like
Doesn't know
it's
how.
time to
Like,
set
she's
some full
not
parameters
yet ready
around
to wear
life.
high heels.
No, she's not. This is the time where we guide her into the next part of her life. But we're mired in things that are just it's so annoying. Like this is what we spend our time talking about all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mostly.
It's the dumbest thing. And what's so crazy is it's not even that we're just talking about it. Like in order to make it so, there's just so much unnecessary violence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even necessarily just physical violence. It's also mental. Like I feel like this admin is literally and figuratively torturing us.
Mm-hmm.
Torture. There's something very weird about not knowing if the Department of Education is going to be around, if the IRS is going to be around, how much of the national parks are going to be carved up. There's something very weird about that, about just always like, you know what I mean?
Shuffling, surviving,
Yes, it would
and
literally be considered
panicking, and
abuse if this person was like in your life.
you know what? That brings up a good point, because sometimes, and that's why I say they wanted freedom of speech, but then when people speak up, like our dear friend that got let go from the show that he's been on for many years.
Oh my gosh,
doing
that's
his
so weird.
thing, making jokes, just making people feel a little chuckle because this shit is ridiculous, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
This is the girl in school that writes the burn book. Like, this is the girl that sets things in motion that you didn't even know. She's manipulating the fuck out of you, bitch.
Yes, they're mean girls.
Oh, you never had a friend like me. Let me tell you. Come on, girl. Like,
and the problem is, so many people want to be associated with the popular kid, no matter how awful they are, that they'll drop to their knees immediately. Whatever you want to do. I mean, some people are calling our president daddy. Unironically.
Girl, if you didn't ever have a daddy, I promise you get one like him.
I mean, could you imagine calling some man that you have never met your
Never
daddy?
met, no stake in the claim.
Doesn't
Girl,
know
he'll probably
who
throw
it
you
is.
under a bus. Girl, he'll probably throw all our asses. Well, on a daily basis, he kind of does.
Yeah.
But,
He does. He hates us. That's one of the things I was thinking. Like, because it's not, he is the culmination of years of, like we said, the same type of people being in charge for a really long time. But it's not like it just started with him. Definitely, these types of people have existed for so long. And I'm like, what is it about it? But, I think I just answered my own question, because really I think it's that the world generally is still very patriarchal, America specifically, and the patriarchy is simply defined by money and power.
that's it.
Because they don't care how you look, they don't care where you come from. Because I mean, here's the deal: they chose Barack.
They did.
They were never going to choose our girl, but they chose Barack twice.
They did
twice.
2 times in a row.
And it's just because I feel like the fact that he came across wealthy and powerful was part of it. That's all it means to be a successful man in America.
Yeah.
And
that old judge.
Even if you're not there specifically, if you're someone that's in pursuit of that, they give you the title of man.
Yeah.
That's it. All your other qualities don't matter. You could be, and it's true, you could be beating your wife, you could be cheating on her, you could be into children. They don't care.
You could be at the Coldplay concert.
Because you
What's
know
that
that.
song called? Clocks, girl. That's what song.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Someone got
clock is
clocked.
time is up. Goddamn it.
Clocked is right, girl.
Clock.
So I'm certain that she's getting more vitriol than he is as it goes. As it
Mm-hmm.
goes. Because I just heard them talking about, like, she's in HR, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, guys,
That's the
she's her
first thing.
boss.
That's the
Like,
first thing they said, girl.
you
That's
know
the
what I
first
mean?
thing.
Like, what about
Oh,
him?
what
He's
about
the damn
him? Oh, he's
CEO.
the head NIC.
So
Oh,
wealth
okay. We're
and
gonna talk about
money.
him. We're gonna swivel, and we know that he probably put a ring on somebody's finger up in here. All with the girl from HR all rubbed up and hugged up. Probably used the company's money to purchase certain tickets.
Yes, that's
Girl,
exactly how they do. That's
a
exactly how they
mess.
do.
Talking about I'm at work. I had to
You know
work
what's
late.
wild though?
I'm out of
Like,
town. Girl.
yeah, I found it. That's the thing. I found it really strange that so many people were so casual about the cheating.
Oh yeah, they just like,
'Cause,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
a
guys,
man.
how are
Guys
you
gotta
just
do what a guy's gotta do, you know.
how are you out at an event with other staff members too?
Other staff members, people
Like,
are
and everyone's
girl
just
afraid to
terrible?
speak up and like, hey motherfucker, ain't you married? This is inappropriate. You know what? This is if I was me, I would lose my job for such antics. Oh, but you.
Because
Because you
got
purchased
money
the host.
and he's
Okay,
got
you purchased my
perceived
ticket.
power. See?
Okay. Okay.
It lets them get away with so much.
Chill.
So
Okay.
much. And I think that's why they're so like increasingly anti-woman is because they don't want us to have that same type of power.
No. They
Because
don't.
nobody should. Just unchecked. Look what happened.
Run
Look
amok.
what happens.
Run amok.
Our eyes are off the prize, and Lady Liberty is like,
She should be up there like Lady Justice. She like, damn, I'm blind. I don't want to see this shit. Y'all got me looking.
why
over
are
this
they
shit.
always women too?
Girl, because they be like, because that's what the balance that you're talking about. The fierce goddess, fierce protector, and the loving, nurturing, female, feminine.
Of which men are just simply not capable. I think that's what it is. Because I don't think that the Statue of Liberty would have worked as a man. Although I do think, like we said, he would have been well kept. I don't think it would have worked as a man. And I obviously, in terms of justice, like, they don't know what it means.
Girl,
They
they
don't
want
get
it,
it.
though. They want it. They want it.
I don't even think they want it. I feel like they just don't, once again, want anyone else to have it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. As long as you don't got it. That's one of the ickiest things about kind of where we are mentally in the country is why are we should not be nearly as divided as we are. We should have been, the America's 250th birthday we should have all been celebrating and dancing in the streets.
Girl, it could have went a whole better way. Girl, just imagine if, the time clock and things have 250. That shows, hey, we're progressing. Look, we're trying at least.
Yeah,
we're
a new
something
world.
new.
Yes.
We're not afraid.
Yes. New ideas, new thoughts, new people. That's what America's about.
New
Happy
programs.
250th. Meanwhile, all of
Girl,
us
they
were
could have did
having...
Hands Across America for that one. I think
That
we all
doesn't
would have
even
had
exist
hands.
anymore. Doesn't exist anymore. Isn't that crazy?
That's all gone.
Because they just gave power to the wrong people, or the wrong people took power and have held it for a really long time.
They're not
I
letting
was
it go.
watching, what was it? Oh, Lovecraft Country, which I feel like should be required watching in high school.
Tell me about it.
I feel like
Isn't it just so good?
it's amazing. I love it. I love it so much. And I was on the episode where they came across the native person, the spirit native person. And it's just like a tale as old as time. Like, he lied. I trusted him and he lied. Like, God, can y'all stop lying? And the problem is they've gotten so good at it that the current president, notice I'm not saying his name anymore. I'm trying to pretend like he doesn't exist, but as much as I can, because you take your eyes off the prize and shit, we'll all be on a ship back to fucking Curacao. But
He's so crazy.
but
I
This motherfucker will say something and then be like, no, I didn't say it. And there's like tape of him saying it and they will believe him. Would you ever want that type of power over someone? And if you had it, tell me truthfully, would you be a benevolent leader or would you be like a dictator?
I would be benevolent because, girl, you trust me? Because you know what? This is the thing. You have to start to believe that you are whatever he believes, whatever shitstorm he's creating in his mind. He believes whatever it is. Because I wouldn't want to manipulate people. I want people to come to me on their own. I want them to trust me because I've built that trust. Mm-hmm. And whatever I say, I want them to see that I have done such things. So they should trust that I'm going to have their best interest in mind and at heart. But if I did have that power, I would definitely want it to be benevolent. I think these people get into the power mode, and maybe they admire the power that certain people have.
I think what it is the power. It's like a heady sense, right? Because could you imagine like me? Mm-hmm. Well, not me, because I've already got a bit of a dark side, so I could probably go to the dark side quick. So which is something I know, so I would never, well, maybe. Anyway, I'd have to have a really good handler and someone to keep me in check. Okay. But I feel like there are people like Corey, for example, who probably definitely started out with the thought that I am going to do some good.
Okay.
I'm going to do some good. The thing about it is, politics as they exist, at least in America, isn't like a pure thing anymore. Like it used to be truly just like this civic thing just so that you could maintain something. And generally speaking, everyone could have like a high quality of life. Like the civic aspect was to ensure high quality of life. And I feel like the Coreys kind of start off with that noble intent. But before you know it, you do suddenly have power. People suddenly are reading your tweets and cheering you on, and people that aren't even in the state you live in. So all of a sudden you have all these admirers. And then you also get people in your ear telling you like how if you just do this one thing, we can throw thousands, hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars at your campaign to ensure that you continue to be able to do all the things you love. And before you know it, it's just warped into something really gross and ugly. You know what I mean?
I do.
I don't necessarily think that this is really crazy to say, but I really don't, let me rephrase it. I think there are very few benevolent politicians in American government at the federal and state level. I think there across the country are very, very few that are in there with noble intentions. I think a lot of it is the Sirk and Popham stance now, because at the national level, it's just made into be a circus. So now it's like you can choose some really divisive sides and it could get you elected. You could say some really gnarly thing and people will cheer you on. There's no way to keep everyone in line, right? Mm-hmm. There's no circumstance.
There's no
circumstances. And I mean, at this point, if there are circumstances, they're good. It's weird. We're in the upside down. You know what I mean?
Oh, we are definitely in the upside down, girl.
I think Lady Liberty would be very sad. I'm actually sad for her, and I think we should give her back. I think I heard some rumblings that France was like, we're going to take her back. But the problem is, unfortunately, it's like you could have her back, France, but if you think about it, you're not that far away from what we are.
Oh, talk about it.
Because I feel like what we really have to do, what America needs to do, is acknowledge and really reparate slavery.
Reparate.
But globally, everyone needs to think about their anti-Black bias.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Right?
There's a lot of bias up in this country. And they will straight up, they lean into, it's because it's black and white. It's because of those people over there. Why
do you think people are so okay, because this is the thing, and I think we've talked about this before. But one of the things that's so interesting to me about like racism is how it can't exist in like a silo, you know? Like I can't, like if I were racist, I can only be racist like if the other race exists.
Yes.
And
yes.
if I'm kind of tuned in and tapped into them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, how can they be both that and then there's this weird obsession, and it really is an obsession, and that's another thing that I'd love for us to have like an open dialogue with people about, because like non-Black people about, because you know, like there's this guy who I was on TikTok, and there was this guy who's, I don't know what he is, I think he's like a plumber or something, and he was like, the whole point of it was he was in someone's bathroom and they had all of those like mammy dolls, artwork, towels, figurines, just all up in this bathroom. I mean, it was like that's what they collected.
Yeah.
And so, what is that?
Girl, and what? Okay. Yes, what is it? And why is it in the bathroom of all places? What kind of message are you really showing?
I feel like I think it's crazy that they have full ass rooms of this shit. They have full rooms. Have you seen on TikTok these videos?
No, girl.
You haven't seen them?
I know I haven't. I think I've heard something about this, what you're talking about, how this person had all this stuff. I think of it as, like, girl, we would never. I mean, they tried to make us, though. They tried to make us have, like, their idols and all of this or whatever. They tried it. But there's nobody that is in this house that's on my walls.
Yes.
Not even white Jesus, girl. White Jesus do not live here, girl.
Same.
And I don't even know why the Black people were so, like, conditioned to, like, see a Christ as white, and we need to put him on a wall. Girl, he do not look like you.
And also,
so anyway,
is that what you believe in? I think that we need to really do a whole thing about religion. I mean, we kind of got into it a little bit, but we need to break that down, because I have some thoughts there. But it's also not even just religion. It's like, imagine me just having
if they can't own you, they're like, own your stuff. You're like
what? Like a figurine of like who though? Like I can't even think of. I don't even know.
None of
like
them,
a whole
I
bunch
can't
of
even think. You know, I know
like
a lot of people love
white people.
They love Marilyn Monroe, Elvis. I don't know, but I wouldn't have. I don't.
Okay, but I feel like those actually kind of make sense.
Mm-hmm.
What they have isn't like Michael Jordan, and
it's like mammy kitsch. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Like the little red
I'm
lips,
just like what even. And the thing about it, I think what's happening is I'm trying to draw an equivalent, and one just doesn't exist.
It does.
That's how unnecessarily racist that shit.
Very unnecessary. And girl, look, the white people would buy this shit. Like I think I've seen one of those really in live and real person.
I have yet to, thank goodness, because I don't know what I would do. It's so strange. Girl,
and I think a white person pointed it out to me. They were like, and maybe that's what they want to do. They want you to look and get that low fucking vibration, like, damn, these motherfuckers own me, like likeness of whatever they think of me, these little voodoo dolls or whatever I won't even call them voodoo dolls. I don't know what they are. But girl, who was making these were the white people, okay?
Maybe
they made them all. They sold and marketed them to other white people. That's what they did.
It's so bizarre.
Girl.
I don't even know what they are. I just Googled it, and it just says like Jim Crow. So that's kind of what it was. It really is racist. Yeah.
So bad.
Oh my God. So I just can't believe. So I think my point is there's nothing. And I mean, I'm not a hater. Unfortunately. I wish I was. If I were a hater, I'd probably be a killer. But anyway.
Who would you kill? Everybody? Would nobody be
a lot of people. I'd probably be serious. I would be what I did. I'd be like Dextra.
Dextrous.
The Dextrous.
Ambidextrous.
And thank goodness. I think that the world is very lucky, because I would. Whatever. Anyway, because I'm vengeful. See, that's the goddess in me. Anyway, shit, where was I even going with that? Oh. No, I don't. I lost it. I don't know. Anyway, I just feel like they shouldn't have. I don't know. Oh, that's what I was going to say. It's like there's nothing that I hate in this world that I also am consumed by.
Okay. Okay.
And I feel like that's the craziest thing, because the thing about it, what I mean by racism, like they have to actively consume us, for lack of a better word, in order for racism to exist. Mm-hmm. So that's why they'll come up in your comments and start saying things like, well, or basketball players, or whatever the shit they do, because without it, their being isn't validated. And unfortunately, what I feel is that they really are lacking kind of not personality, but personhood. Because a lot of them outside of racism, they don't have anything.
They don't.
And I thought about that because, I'm a single woman, and I'm like, if I were not single, I mean, whatever. If I had like a whole ass family and whole ass kids that I had to commit to and a whole just bunch of shit, there is no way that I could find the time to go online to be a racist to some stranger.
I know.
And then what they'll double down on is that they love their lives and their lives are so good. Then why aren't you just enjoying your life? Why are you going outside of your life to make someone else's life bad?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like joy to me.
It's not.
Is that how Americans are defining it these days? Because I'm like, half of the stuff that's going on shouldn't exist because y'all should be focused on other things. The problem is, especially those with children aren't raising their kids. And so now we're getting this whole society of children that are just
staring away.
Yes.
Staring in
Thousand dark stares because you haven't taken any time to commit to them. You don't even know who they are, but you know who the black guy cooking meals is.
In the comments.
You're up in Williams' comments, but you don't even know that your kid just stole your car last night to go get some fentanyl. It's crazy.
That's hot.
It's crazy. It's like, I feel like there are so, in the way that the world is, there are so many other things for people to be doing. I cannot imagine going out of your way to be racist to people in person or online. And it's not even just racism. It's the people that are so like anti-gay, like, bro, I swear, and I say this all the time, the only time I ever care about who someone is sleeping with is if I want to be sleeping with them as well.
That's it.
Keisha, I never consider your sex life. Because I don't care. There's no interest there at all.
I want to know. I do not care. I'm trying to be busy over here doing what I'm doing. Why am I thinking about these folks and their happiness and enjoyment and behind the walls?
Yeah, who cares? Everyone should be having a lot more sex, I think. And again, you could take your focus off the shit you don't like. Do you like sex? Then go have some. Are you married? Bro, you should be in your bedroom every day, once a day. Do your kids know how to cook? Why are you still making phone calls for your children? Go teach them how to use the phone. Go do some role playing.
Controversial.
The thing about it is it should not be controversial.
Like, what? You mean I have to raise my kids? Stephanie, what are you saying to me? Like, shouldn't I have some help from whoever? Like, shouldn't I just
where they're trying to
get
the help from
and learn what they need to learn?
They're trying to get the help from the black people. So that's what I'm saying. You say you love us, but you're always up in our shit.
That's why, girl. They're like, they know school. Let me sick them over there.
Co-opting our bonnet.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's
fantasizing about killing dreadheads. Like, I swear to God, if black people didn't exist, I don't know what their lives would look like. I don't know. For a while, there was this whole thing with like young white guys, like teenage white kids, going on, and they're like, it's this weird shit. They're like, 6'3" dreadhead comes up to me, doesn't know I got my whatever. Like, I think it's basically like, I'll shoot a 6'3" dreadhead. Like this weird fantasy role play shit. I'm like, in your mind, do all black guys have dreads? Like, what? To blacks in America, because even in like some Asian countries, you've seen them where they are wearing their hair and like twist and shit.
Trying
It's
so
like,
hard.
what?
Trying so hard. Girl, getting perms. They need the Jeezy perm.
I
What?
absolutely. I
This is
swear to you,
ridiculous.
I feel like I saw someone with like a Jerry curl. I actually read
Wait a
heard a
minute.
podcast.
Was it an Asian person?
Yes. Yes. And I actually heard a podcast about the founder of, hold on, I gotta look it up. Benihana. Benihana. So the founder of Benihana, when he was first trying to get off, like get started in the game, he actually wore a Jerry curl because it would help differentiate him from all the other Asians in the business. hmm Don't you think that's crazy?
You see, I'm speechless.
When I heard that, I was like, it just goes to show,
So he's
and it
out
worked.
here
Because, I mean,
wearing the juicy dreaded curl, and he was up there trying to get somebody to listen to his fucking demo.
no, to eat his food.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's his fucking demo. Are you
Yeah.
for real?
And it worked. It worked.
Oh, yeah, it
Obviously
did.
it worked. He did it because it would help him stand out from all the other Asians.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, I bring that story up just to say that I don't know why they can't just be like, yeah, y'all are cool as fuck, and we appreciate what you bring to the table, and we're going to start treating you like equal. I don't know why it has to be so contentious.
Girl,
like, why
imagine
are
if
they
they
so
did.
dogging on us? Well, that's the problem, though, Keeks. If they did, they don't have anything else, right? So if that is something that no longer exists, they have to exist as like a culture without that. And I feel like that's what's really hard, because it's like if you take away anti-blackness, what's left? It's not necessarily pro-whiteness.
No.
Because they compete against each other. They treat each other. They'll cannibalize each other. That's the one thing that seems to unite them. And so if that goes away, there's not much left.
There's nothing left.
So that's why it stays, because they're still in charge. Gosh, what is it? Huh. We gotta talk about it. Like,